shoulder press. Have I lost my mind? Maybe a little. All right, guys, for the last almost 2 years, hold on, we've been filming for 2 years yet? Or no? It's almost 2 years, huh? Oh, that's right, okay, yeah, okay. All right, guys, for the past over 2 years, I've been beating into your head. Skip shoulder press. Shoulder press sucks. Why are you wasting your time? But what I want to do in this video is speak more to the beginner and intermediate, as opposed to where, when I say stop shoulder pressing, I'm talking more to the advanced lifter. Because at the end of the day, if I have a young kid that comes to me, man or woman, and they want to grow shoulders and become a freak, I'm going to program a shoulder press into their either chest shoulder day, their push day, or their standalone shoulder day, depending upon their split. And I know what you're thinking, but if you're not going to do it when you're advanced, why do I need to do it when I'm a beginner? And you know, that's something that Chaz and I were talking about when I was shooting this chest video where I'm smashing the 150s, is I believe all the years that I did shoulder pressing allowed this whole joint to be battle tested, to prepare me for picking up heavy ass loads, right? So I have a rule for all my newcomers to lifting that you can stop shoulder pressing when you can do the 100-pound dumbbells on a dumbbell seated shoulder press for 8 or more with good reps. And you gotta send me that video. When you do that, you can stop shoulder pressing. Until then, we're gonna shoulder press. And I like that because I do believe you have to build a base level of strength. And that's something I neglected to explain really well in my previous videos. I have years of shoulder pressing. I've done the 120s for as many as 10 for good, clean, solid reps. And that got me to the point where it really wasn't growing my shoulders, but it made all of this insanely strong. So that when I stopped that, I was able to progress off laterals only when I started working with John. What I want to do today is go over 5 different shoulder presses and where I feel they rank in terms of effectiveness and application. So my least favorite of all these options is going to be the barbell shoulder press. And it doesn't matter if you're doing them seated or standing, it doesn't matter to me. This is my least favorite. And one is because I've never been great at it. It didn't feel good on my shoulders. And no matter how much time and energy I spent trying to get better at this exercise, I never pressed over 2 plates aside on it, ever. And that's doing it first on shoulder day. I'm just not a huge fan. Now, if you follow brands, Johnny Jackson, Ronnie Coleman, you know they all barbell shoulder press like machines and animals, pressing as many 4 plates aside, and they grew and have freaky shoulders. But for me, it just didn't do anything. So of all 5, this is my least favorite. If you do like this, feel it, connect with it, progress with it each week, keep at it. But for me, this was a no-go. All right, pin selectorized machine. This is probably second least favorite. One, I don't really fit into these machines, especially anymore, but they just never felt right. I was really locked in. I don't feel like I found one that's really meant for bodybuilders. Maybe for general population people, they feel okay, but for me, they just never felt great. I always opted for the machine that you'll see next. But for this, you know, if you are learning, if you're new, if you have a gym that might, let's say, have a hammer strength pin selected piece, you may like that. And if you do, again, hammer at it. You just have to set the seat right, get the hand, make sure the handle's aligned perfectly for you. You'll notice they have a neutral handle on most of them and a fully pronated handle. I will always gonna say do the pronated grip for the most part. You could try tinker around with the neutral grip. I just never really, again, felt that all that much in anything but really solely my front delt. And to me, a shoulder press should be encompassing all 3 heads of the shoulder, in my opinion. So a normal selectorized piece, another one of my least favorites. Now we're actually getting the ones that I enjoy and would do regularly if I was gonna build shoulder press into someone's routine. The hammer shrink machine shoulder press. I love this. The handles are set at the right angle. You can set the seat super low, so that way you're not coming out of a huge deficit, right? Because in most machines, you're gonna start in a huge deficit. With that, I can set it to start right at my ears. If you notice, every pressing I do, I come down to like anywhere between my chin and my earlobe level, so somewhere in there. I'm not ever gonna be able to take a bar or a dumbbell and touch down near my sternum, unless I'm really hyper laid back and then it turns into an incline. So with this hammer shrink piece, I absolutely love it. If I'm gonna pick a machine press, this is it. It just feels great. You can load heavy. I've had as many as 4 1/4 plates on one of these before for a set of 8. How I'm gonna do this, top set back off. I can do a triple drop, a quad drop. I can do a rest pause set. If you notice in the first 2, I didn't give you sets reps. I think they're garbage. I think you should throw them away. But if you were going to do those, I guess you could do top set and a back off. But for the hammer strength, let's specifically talk about what we want to do. Again, top set, back off, a triple drop, a quad drop, all that's going to work great. Our true rest pause set. This to me is the best shoulder pressing machine on the market. Now, the Arsenal piece I've been on is good. The Prime piece that's plate loaded is really good too. But if I had to pick one, if I was starting my own gym, I'm definitely gonna have that in it for a shoulder press. All right, Smith machine. This is probably my second favorite. I've always liked it. It's smooth, it locks me into a track. I can adjust my hands in and out on the bar. Now, I know you think, Chris, that's weird. You hate barbell pressing, but you love shoulder press in a Smith machine? How does that make sense? Well, I can't explain to you the science behind it. I'm just telling you it feels great. This always crushed my shoulders. When I was younger and actually a little bit smaller, I actually like doing these behind the neck, but I actually like those. I would do 10 to the front, 10 to the back, 10 to the back, 10 to the front. Good little finisher for shoulder day. But the Smith machine, I love this. It's smooth, it feels incredible on the shoulder. To me, just like I talked about with the hammer strength, top set to back off, a triple drop feels great. Or my personal favorite on this is uber controlled. I'm talking super slow negatives, pause on your chin and then explode up to lockout and squeeze your shoulders. If you do shoulder press on Smith machine that way, I'm telling you, it's gonna kill them in a good way. And you have zero joint pain. So that's number 2 in terms of opinion of effectiveness, in my opinion. Then the all-time favorite of shoulder press, and this is the mainstay when I was young of shoulder pressing for me, is dumbbell seated. It just felt the best. I got the most, in terms of strength progression, the most result off of. And I'm telling you, it just feels good. I got zero joint pain. The worst part of these, I will say, there's a little bit of downside. Once you get like over 80-pound dumbbells, kicking those things up into place are no joke. Now, if you have somebody hand them to you, even better, but you have to have 2 training partners to do that, or I guess you could kick one up and then hand you the other one. But even then, like handing somebody a 100, 125-pound dumbbell, it's just a pain in the neck. Like, I'm always scared someone's gonna drop it on me. So getting those things into place is tricky, but once you do, they are worth their weight in terms of pressing. So like I started this video, I no longer shoulder press because I don't feel like it's beneficial to me. It never made my shoulders really grow and explode. It wasn't until I dropped them and replaced that shoulder pressing volume with rear laterals and side laterals that my shoulders actually grew and I started to look like a bodybuilder. So again, take this video, apply the principles of, if you're starting out, if you're a beginner or intermediate, have one shoulder press in your shoulder push day, chest shoulder day, and really work at it for 2 or 3 hard sets. Leave it as long as you can until you get really strong at it, and then assess, like, am my shoulders actually growing? If they are, keep it in. If they aren't, switch to what you see, and I'll give Chaz a link, a couple of videos or example videos of what I do, which is all side and rear laterals. But if you like this video, guys, like, share, and subscribe. And again, at the end of the day, bodybuilding is all subjective. If shoulder pressing works for you, great, keep at it. If it doesn't, like for me, trash it and don't question it. Mountain Dog Training for life.